with this matchup against Minnesota, I know, especially with the final on Wednesday, it's hard to not look ahead at times. But how has the group's focus been on this one ahead, considering the implications of what happens if you guys lose this game?
We'll find out tomorrow. I mean, we've talked about it, so now it's up to them to make sure that they're in the present and just deal with the first half tomorrow.
Do you anticipate rotating the group a bunch, considering the congestion of games, even all the way through that St. Louis game on the other side of the Open Cup?
I mean, we've had to, no matter what, we would have to. It doesn't even matter if there was an Open Cup final or not. We would have to because it's 5 games in 14 days, so we would have to. The big thing is after each game, really taking inventory of the guys and where they are. And like I've said this a million times, it's like what you're also trying to figure out is it better for somebody to start or come off the bench? Can they play 45? Can you make substitutions at halftime, because then saves you a moment in your substitutions? There's just a lot of different things that you calculate within there. And it even becomes, more dynamic based on, the amount of games and also what we're trying to get ready for.
Just one last one. You get Jake back into that to be able to throw into the midfield rotation there. Since he's moved there, he's been very good there. Just what have you seen in his move from right back there that has made that maybe has shown that leap that he's taken in that spot?
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with attitude and work ethic. He as I've said, the guys that have come in there now and they understand what's necessary for the team, and the biggest thing is it's this pit bull mentality. It's going and winning balls back. It's fighting for everything, putting guys under pressure. It's the things that you need in the middle of the midfield, because that's your engine of your team. If you have that, it allows other things to happen on the field. It makes the game a little more predictable defensively for your back line. It gives more opportunities for the guys up front, because you win balls and now you're closer to goal and you don't have to build up all the way from your goal mouth all the way to the other team. So there's a lot of benefit, and he's helping provide that.
Even his growth, even in the final third, has seemed to kind of come along quickly too. With you see the assist that he made to Polito, the goals that he scored recently. Just where have you seen him kind of take his game to? I know that role's not like he's not the 10, but he's got some attacking responsibility in that spot.
I think it's always great when from other positions on the field you can get some goal scoring or goal production by committee. Right, you have your guys that you expect are going to score some goals, and you need them to, but it's when you can get some other contributions from other guys, it's really good, and he's done that.
The win the other night just seemed like a really great mentality across everybody. Is there anything you can point to that created that?
Good coaching.
Was it
no, I think the guys understood that I think the guys were thinking way too ahead in the Seattle game, and they're more concerned about getting ready for the final, but the final's far away. And if you're not in good form, if you're not playing the way you need to be, it's not like you're going to turn that switch on come Wednesday. You have to do it now. And we also are fighting for something. And so, like I said before, it's not every game. It's half by half. And I think that the guys understood that, and they actually approached the game that way, and I think that was a difference.
And from the player view, you can understand where it's tough to maintain that focus sometimes. But on the managing side, how difficult is it to try to balance, like, how are you going to approach each game? I know it's always the next game, but you're also trying to manage to get to a final or to win that final.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not easy, but everybody wants to be in that position, right? That you're going to play in a final. So I think the biggest thing is that you have to be, you have to have a plan. Like, we started these 5 games, you have a plan, but you have to be adaptable. You have to be flexible. And you also can't get caught up in the moment either. Because what you could also do is you could sacrifice a bunch of guys when you don't need to. Because you have to trust the other players as well. And you have to make sure that you trust those guys and you give them their ability to go make the contribution. But it's also the players' responsibility to make sure that when they go into the game, they contribute like they should.
And with a lot of rotation in this last game, a lot of those guys stepped up and played really well. Does anybody stand out?
I would say it was a very, very good team effort. I mean, obviously the goal contribution from both Polito and Tommy is big, but I think you got to say, like, Zoe put an unbelievable shift in. He won so many balls. So did Memo. So I mean, I could go down the line. Everybody was very good. It was good to get 60 minutes with Logan. That was important. I keep saying that Kai keeps stepping up, week after week, which is great, game after game. So it's all been good.
How's the health? I saw Nemanja over there doing a little practice.
Yeah, Nemanja's, he's getting better for sure. Probably ahead of schedule, which is really good. And we'll just keep trying to get him more and more into training and see how he keeps responding. Everything else is half decent. Obviously some guys are a little tired, but we got to get through that.
Is Joaquin getting close to maybe making a?
Yeah, he's trained full now. He's training full, so that's good. Now it's just about getting real trainings under his belt. The problem is we got so many games and it's not regular training either.
And we hear a lot about rotation. Are there general rules you kind of try to follow when rotating guys, or is it kind of an individual thing, like certain guys can hold up more?
I think there's a lot of things you take in consideration, but I think at the end of the day, you always have to look at the individual people and know what they're capable of and not. And then you also are looking at form and who your opponent is. Those are big determining factors.
I know some of those players will have a bigger gas tank, so they can do more games in a row, stuff like that. Is that science? Is it intuition? Is it the player? How do you know that?
It's all of it. You definitely take some of the science for sure. You also take, if you've spent time with the guy, you kind of know a little bit what they can and can't do. And then other times where you got to be really disciplined and make your decision and say you're not playing or you're not starting. I don't care how much you want to play. You just got to make that decision.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good luck.